third method for valuation of intangible assets under the income approach is known as multi-period excess earnings method, and in short it is known as MEEM, MEEM. Now, what is this multi-period excess earning method or MEEM method of valuing the intangible assets? Now, in case of the MEEM method, what you do, you segregate assets of a business into two parts. Part number one are the intangible assets that you want to value. You group them at one place. And number two, what you do, the other assets, all the other assets of the business, you group them separately under group number two. Now what you do, now you do the valuation of the business as a whole, assuming it's a combined entity in any case. That means you do the valuation of the business as a normal business, which is using these intangible assets that you want to do the valuation of. That's your step number one. Step number two, what you do, the other assets that you are using in your business, and which is your fixed assets and your current assets. Now what you do, you assume that you don't own these assets. You don't own the fixed assets that you have. You don't own the current assets that you have. Instead of that, for using these fixed assets and the current assets, you are paying a rent to someone, which is known as economic charge for the use of these assets. So now what you do, now you find out as to how much is the total amount of economic charge that you are paying for the use of these fixed assets and the current assets, and take the total of the economic charge that you are paying for the use of the fixed assets and the current assets, and do it for a considerable period. And which I am sure, when we spoke about the discounted cash flow method, and we spoke about the two-stage discounting model, where we broke the life of a company into two parts: explicit forecast and the terminal period. So likewise, you find out the cash flows, free cash flows of the entity running in the normal course, and from those normal cash flows from the operations of the company, from that figure minus the total of economic charge that you would pay for the use of these assets, that is your fixed assets and the current assets. Now the difference between the free cash flow of the business as a whole minus the total of economic charge for the use of these economic assets, that is your fixed assets and the current assets, the difference is supposed to be the cash flow on account of the use of intangible assets in that business. And now what you do, now you discount all these cash flows at an appropriate cost of capital of the business, and thereby find out the intrinsic value or the present value of all those cash flows. And total of all those cash flows will be equal to the value of intangible assets of this business based on multi-period excess earning method. So why it is called as multi-period excess earning method? This is something interesting, because in case of discounted cash flow method, it is always multi-period. So I really do not know as to why it is used only in this case, the multi-period, because in all the other cases also you will be using the multi-period cash flows. But that is what it is. Multi-period is you are going to use the cash flows over a period of time, and that is the reason why it is used as multi-period. And why it is used as excess earning method, that means excess earning is what? Is the earning over the economic charge that you are generating, earnings that you are generating over the economic charge, and that is supposed to be the value ascribed to the use of the intangible assets. And that is how present value of all those differential cash flows is supposed to be the value of intangible assets in this case, based on the MEEM method or multi-period excess earning method.